Okay, so we have Steve the Bird 45's Noble Knight deck profile, right? Okay.
Alright, so to start off, we have 3 Madrot. He helps you set up your Noble Knight plays with your spells, your Noble Arms, and special summons a Noble Knight from your deck, so you can go Boars or Brothers for a setup. And then speaking of 2 Noble Knight Boars, he helps you set up your Noble Arms. Like, mainly you want to use him to get Caliburn, Gwen, and Caliburn. Like, and then he shuffles those Noble Arms at random, and then one goes to your hand and the other 2 go to the grave. So he can be pretty helpful. And then 1 Noble Knight Bedwar. He's like Foolish Brother, but you send a Noble Arms to the grave, so you can send Gwen to re-equip it to Gwen, or to Bedwar. So pretty much, then he'll be like a 1900 beat stick. Helpful. Then 2 Gwaine. He's pretty much like a Gear Accelerator. If you control a Noble Knight that's level 4 in light and it's normal, helps your Xyz plays. Then 1 Gwalchvad, the Warrior Returning Alive card. If he's equipped with a Noble Arms, you get a Noble Knight back from your grave to your hand, and then destroy the Noble Arms that was equipped. So he's pretty good. And then 1 Dristan. He's really good because if you're going against like Evil Storms and like if you have like big problems on the field, you can use Dristan to destroy any card on your opponent's side of the field that's face up. So Dristan is quite helpful. And then 2 Brothers that got so Emerald. You should pretty much target or the left. Shuffle 3 Noble Knights and or Arms from your grave back to the deck and shuffle it and draw 1 card. So he's pretty much good. You'll mainly want to use Brothers just for that effect, but the special summoning for other Noble Knights is kind of bad. So only use it for the shuffling. And then for the new card, 3 Merlin. Pretty much your Lone Fire Blossom for the deck. Like, use it if you're going first turn, and if you don't have a Noble Arms and Madrot's already in hand, you pretty much want to go summon Merlin, tribute, special Bedwar. Pretty much put any Noble Arms except for Caliburn in your grave, because Caliburn does not re-equip, sadly, and Merlin just helps you set up, and he's pretty good. And then 2 Gwen. Gwen's really good because you can equip her to any Noble Knight on the field and give it 300 attack points, and it has 2 effects. 1, if it's being destroyed by a card effect, then it's a light monster. You can destroy Gwen instead. And then for the dark effects, pretty much like Allied Justice Catastrophe, pretty much. Now for the spells, 2 Noble Arms of Destiny. This card helps you like win games. It protects your Noble Knight from being destroyed by battle or by once per turn. So, I think, yeah, destroyed by battle once per turn, and card effects. So he's pretty good. Then 2 Excalibur. This card lets your monster not be targeted by any cards at all, except for your cards, which is really helpful as well. And this is the Noble Arms that is not re-equipped unless you're Xyz summoning. And then you have 2 Gallatin. This one just boosts your Noble Knight's attack points by 1,000, and then during your standby phases, you lose 200 attack points. So overall, it just makes your Noble Knights become a beat stick. You have one of this Noble Arm. I have trouble pronouncing it. This card is pretty much like your MST. Like, you pay 500 to destroy any set spell or trap card on the field. So he's pretty useful.
Norwegian name's Arendite.
Arendite, okay. And then 1 Caliburn. Once per turn, you can gain 500 life points once per turn, and this is being MSC, you can just re-equip to a Noble Knight instead. So pretty much every Noble Arm, except for Caliburn, or Excalibur, cannot re-equip to Noble Knight when destroyed. Then 2 last chapters of the Noble Knights. I really like this card a lot because it's like your Monster Reborn, plus you get a Noble Arm from your graveyard, but in order to activate it, you need to have at least no monster on your side of the field, and your opponent has to control at least. Your opponent controls monsters, and you can use this card that special summon a Noble Knight from your graveyard and equip it with a sword from your grave. So it's pretty good. And of course, staples for any warriors. 3 Rhoda. Then I dropped to 3 Forbidden Lance. People say Chalice is better, but I like Lance just so I can protect my knights from being targeted by spells and traps. Then, of course, to the staples. Regeki. I'm not running MST because Artfitter does the sword does the MST work for you. And then 2 Kaiser Coliseum. I don't see why people like this. I see why people like this card. It helps you like have field control pretty much because your opponent can have more monsters on the field than you do. So it pretty much just helps you set up. And then 2 Breakthrough Skill staple. Then Pulls and Solemn Warning staple. Now for the extra deck, 1 Cowboy. If I have game, I can use him to set up the game. Ujete Tsukiyomi, pretty much for draw power. Then Artorigas. He's pretty much your heavy storm arm of the deck. Like depending on the number of noble arms you control, you can detach an Exige material and pretty much nuke your opponent's backfield, which can be really helpful. Then for the staple warriors, Excal, Starly, Armor. Now to the rank 5s, 2 Artorigas. He's really helpful because he helps get rid of your opponent's monster. And then Artifact Durandal. There's rare occasions where I have to go into him. He pretty much makes your monster's effect become an MST. And then Zen Mayo. I'm not using it yet, but I like him. Because he's like a double MST. Detach, destroy 2 set cards on your opponent's side of the field. And then that's a deck pretty much for you.